Hey everybody, man, it's Bulky here from Midwest Muscle Report. We have an opportunity to sit down with two amazing bikini Olympia athletes, and we're not gonna start out talking about just how fantastic they looked on stage at the Olympia this weekend. We will definitely get there. What we want to talk about is the road to getting here. It's a very different story than most other athletes, and I think a story that is a lot more prevalent now than it's ever been, and something that I think a lot of you guys are going to want to listen to because it's just happening far more often. And we're talking about changing divisions. Not only changing divisions as an amateur, we're talking about changing divisions as a pro athlete. Let's start with Vickie. Vickie, you've been competing for a long time. Can you kind of walk us through where you started and how it is that you came to be sitting here now?
Yes, so I first started off as a figure competitor under NPC a little bit over 10 years ago. Started off as fun, training my own self, and then started getting serious after I was in the game for about 5 years or so. Was fortunate enough to turn pro in 2011 at Junior Nationals in figure, and competed from that point on as a figure pro. Did pretty good as far as
Absolutely.
staying usually staying closer to the top 10. However, always was one of the smaller girls on stage, and as the sport started to evolve, I started to notice that the girls were adding more muscle. With me already being on the smaller end of things.
Tell us what your stature is, by the way.
I'm 5'1" and 3/4.
Okay.
Yes, I said 3/4. Give me all my height.
You want every bit of that 3/4.
Every bit of it, right.
Okay.
So I'm already on the shorter end, and then packing on all that muscle as a shorter girl, I wasn't quite sure that was the look that I really wanted. However, I wasn't ready to give up the stage either. And so bikini was there, and so that's when I started thinking maybe I want to switch divisions. With that being said, my dear fellow friend, Miss Tatiana, who we've competed together against on the figure stage, she had already made that transition. So I actually reached out to her to get her advice, her thoughts before making the official switch.
Okay. So Tatiana, where did you start and what made you make that transition? Obviously a little bit before Vickie, and then helping her make the decision to make the transition herself.
I started competing in 2005. That's when I had my first show in figure. And in 2005 up until 2009, there was no bikini.
Correct.
And as the smallest division, I stepped into it, and I was building up to get my pro card. I was waiting for my citizenship.
Okay.
And as soon as I got it...
Where are you from?
I'm from Russia.
Okay.
Yeah. And as soon as I got it, I started competing at the national stage, and I got my pro card at 2011 USA.
Okay.
Same year as you.
Same year, right?
Same year.
And a year later, I did my pro debut in figure, where I got third.
Okay. Now what's your stature?
I'm 5'2".
Okay.
and a quarter.
and a quarter, and she wants that quarter.
Yes. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So you also are a smaller competitor to begin with.
I'd say I wasn't the smallest there, and like at my height, I was a good size.
Okay.
But standing next to the taller girls that do carry more muscle, and I noticed that over the years, the girls are they keep getting bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't feel like at 5'2" frame, I could carry any more muscle.
Okay.
And it's also a challenge in the off season, because with the muscle and extra food that you eat,
Comes extra weight.
it comes extra weight, and it's just I wasn't comfortable
Right.
where I was.
So you wanted to walk around healthier yourself.
Yes.
And I know Vickie, that's something that you strongly believe in yourself. You're a nurse. You know, you promote health and fitness, and not that any of us are unhealthy in the off season, but like you said, Tatiana, you do need to put on some extra weight, anybody who's packing on extra muscle. So it makes sense. I know, Vickie, also one of the things that you had been talking about was as you got older, you didn't want the challenges that you would have to face to continue to have to put on muscle, keep the muscle on, again, as you got older. Is that maybe the same for you as well?
I would say that the older I get, the like my thoughts change, you know, in the way I feel about my body, and I feel like, to me, I feel like smaller is better now than where I was when I was 18-year-old. I was like, yeah, muscle and flexing and all that, and now I'm at the point where I want to look healthy.
Right. Oh, you're
where
right.
you look healthy with muscles, but
right, you're just carrying around that extra weight, and then it can become a little uncomfortable. Absolutely. So when we come back from commercial, I want to talk to both of you a little bit more about what it's been like now in that transition period and what you've been doing since, show-wise, your everyday living, how you're living day to day at a lighter weight, and talk to some of these athletes out there about what it was like making that transition, and now how both of you, late in your career, are both sitting at your first Olympia. Now that's something. We'll be back in a minute.